Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Oh, hey, hello. Sorry. We were sitting here talking about medical issues. I see you got your hand. God, we're like these old. She's got a scrape on her nose, a thing on her hand. I've got stitches in my head.
Growth.
I had a growth. Well, I told
so much in your brain that it
yeah, I know. It was
decided
like just
to grow.
popping out. I was talking about it yesterday. It was like I was a unicorn. It was right in the middle. I had like a horn.
Did you mess with it constantly?
No, it was disgusting.
See, I would touch it
Oh
constantly if it
God,
were
I
mine.
couldn't.
Yeah.
I just so. Blah.
Isn't that different? Yeah. You're squeamish that way.
And you're not.
No. Although they have pimple popping websites, and I don't.
Well, you.
No, but you know what?
Stop.
They're not fun. That's kind of gross. So I don't like that.
Okay, well, see, because you like gross. It shows how much I know you. Sally Wiggin, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't.
Oh, there's that. Is that the camera?
Yes.
See, this is a
What do you have?
I have
Carpal
skier's thumb.
tunnel?
I had a skiing accident about 6 years ago, and I fell and went like this, and it stretched the ligaments. I went to a orthopod, and they just said, just live with it.
Skier's thumb.
That's what they call it.
I got
thumb.
skier's thumb, tennis elbow. I got
But it got
computer.
I aggravated it by not texting, but using my thumb on my iPhone for 3 hours. And
That'll do it. And people are having repetitive injury from
repetitive motion injury. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
But knowing Sally is not squeamish. Looking for stuff for us to talk about today, found two great ones. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of, let me find it here. You can't look. Hagfish. It's an animal. It's like eel-like.
No, I think I've heard of it, but
Hagfish. There's actually a huge story in the Atlantic about hagfish. And hagfish produce, what do you mean you failed? I hate this stuff. I still remember when they put computers in the newsroom, and I sat next to Paul Long, and they had this, oh God, it hurts to laugh. They had this woman come in and try to teach us how to use a computer, and I'm sitting next to Paul.
And this was the old DOS, wasn't it?
What?
DOS, DOS, that operating system.
Do you think I even know? I don't know what the hell it was. I was one step removed from Paul. I mean, in my, you know, he said, first they took the UPI and AP, you know,
paper wires, the wires.
The wire machines,
The wire machines
were gone, and now they took our typewriters and put this stuff in front of us, and he was so pissed. I remember once he was trying to write a story on his computer, and he nodded off, and his finger was on like the H, and so his story was just H, and it just kept.
I remember you told this story.
Oh God. Okay, so
hagfish.
Yeah, but it won't let me get to it. Here it is, hagfish. Come on, it's very scientific. This thing. Get Sally closer to the mic. Okay?
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'll talk right into it. And I'll speak up loudly. I have a very loud voice.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Hagfish slime. Now, a truck carrying hagfish, which are desirable somewhere in Asia, I forget, on a Washington Washington State, tipped over, and the hagfish released their slime.
You mean they were alive?
I guess, yes. I don't know. And the slime, it expands by 10,000 times in a fraction of a second. So this little fish, this little eel-like thing, puts out like a teaspoon of this slime, and the slime immediately starts to grow 10,000 times.
Itself.
Well, yeah, and it does a great job. A little hagfish can make a shark back off. It'll go like that on a shark, and the shark will start like trying to get this stuff, and it's softer than Jell-O. It's strong, so that if you had a bucket of it, it would look like a bucket of water.
Well, why does someone want to eat
And
that?
then you would stick your hand in it, and literally your hand won't come out.
Are you?
It seems like why isn't this being used?
But see, you know what?
In like, I mean, this should have so many uses.
But
it would seem.
but leave it alone. I mean, it's in nature. Nature's so amazing.
Yeah, but nature gives us, hey, what's that ad I keep hearing?
You know what?
What's that ad I
eat
keep?
so much of it there won't be any hagfish
What
left.
what is the ad I keep hearing that annoys me? It's just another medical ad, another for some pill. Found in jellyfish. Have you ever heard that one?
Mm-mm.
And
Maybe,
somebody
and I just
comes
don't
from
pay attention.
found in jellyfish. So a lot of the stuff that, we find stuff in nature, and then, because nature's miraculous. It does stuff that we can't, and they're saying that
and then make money like krill. People are now using krill oil, and it has nothing to do with making you healthier. And they're taking away the food source for so many species of penguins. For whales, it's awful because they think they're going to live longer by eating krill oil, and it's been proven that it does not help your heart. Makes me so angry.
The slime looks revolting, but it's also one of nature's most wondrous substances, unlike anything that has been concocted by either evolution or engineers.
But actually, that is evolution.
Well,
That's inaccurate.
that is true.
It is
That
evolution.
is evolution.
That was.
Here's what you would like.
badly.
It looks like a bunch of mucus that someone just sneezed out of their
Now,
nose.
I'm not a mucus fan.
Oh.
I don't like mucus,
Okay.
and I don't like
But
canine diarrhea.
okay, well, I don't. Does anyone out there like canine diarrhea?
That's all I've dealt with. For the
All
past-
right. Well, no, we don't like canine diarrhea.
What's that?
Well, they say that it is. It's got these wires, these slime, the protein threads in the slime. These tiny little threads, but they can stretch for 4 to 6 inches. And within the slime glands, each thread is coiled like a ball of yarn within its own tiny cell. And they say that is like stuffing a whole bunch of Christmas lights into a shoebox without a single knot. So this is considered a miracle of packaging by the hagfish.
That's quite a simile.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Metaphor.
No, if you use the word like,
Oh,
it's a simile.
okay.
As in like, it's a simile.
All right.
Right?
Yeah. The threads can fully unspool in a fraction of a second. But so I don't know what the slime
Oh,
can
is that
fill.
a picture of it
Yeah,
doing it?
you see, yeah, this is.
But
the,
see, you know what? Your poor audience can't see it.
Well, my poor Ronnie. Okay, listen. Someone finally captured footage of hagfish sliming eels and other things. And even a shark was forced to retreat, visibly gagging on the cloud of slime
That's
in its
amazing.
jaws.
But see, the oceans are so threatened now.
I know.
Oh
I know.
my heavens!
Ow. Okay.
I'm just I'm being a wet blanket.
Well, no, it's really.
Oh
there
my
they are.
God, that's what they look like.
They look like they look like
are
eels.
like eels.
Yeah. They are so thoroughly odd that biologists have struggled to clearly work out how they're related to other fish and to other backbone vertebrates. They're like in a
So
class
they do
by
they do
themselves.
have a backbone. They are vertebrate.
No,
Oh, they're
yeah.
invertebrate. Do they have a backbone?
I don't know.
Then that means they are
No,
vertebrate.
it's they think they're primitive precursors to vertebrates.
Oh, so it's not a vertebrate. That's interesting.
Anyway,
I'm trying to speak
So-
up so people can hear me.
can everybody hear? Okay, so I found that, and that's by a guy who writes about disgusting stuff for The Atlantic. His name is Ed Young.
I love the Atlantic.
Okay, well, then I found another Ed Young story I thought you would like. And here it is. Hippos poop so much that sometimes all the fish die.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see that?
Oh yeah. It's just it's they do it all the time.
Well, they can't
and
help
they have
it.
their little tails wagging to try to get it off their bums, and they're so dangerous.
But I mean, so they do.
But they do poo. Yeah, I can see if they're in a small, a small mud hole or something, and there are fish in it. I would imagine it would take the oxygen out of the.
That's
the
exactly
water.
what it does. That's exactly what it
So they
was. Yeah, the pooping hippopotami cause subsidy overload, resulting in downstream hypoxia and fish kills. They poop so much that all the fish choke to death. I'm just saying. Did you ever run in with a hippo? No, not with the hippo.
Yeah.
With the hippo.
Rammed our.
Okay, well,
boat.
tell your.
No,
at least he didn't
it's-
poop on you or something.
No, it was in Botswana. It was at dusk. We were in the middle of a river, and I heard this, and I was with some of the people, and I turned and I said, I think I just heard a hippo submerge really close, and they didn't pay attention to me, the guides. And I said, and so that all of a sudden, this whomp, this huge noise hits the motor, and it's a small boat. It's about from this table to the glass. It was
So
not
it's
a
like
big,
a 10-foot boat.
yeah,
a
it was
12
not a
foot
big
boat.
boat. And we were going to look at dusk. We were going to look at some of the night birds on the river, and we had gone by a bunch of crocodiles over like on the side, and so we heard that, and I immediately jumped up and ran to the motor, and this huge head surfaced, with the eyes, and then went right under. And I'm like, oh my God. And the guide, he was 25. He was managing this camp in the Okavango Delta, and he kept turning. He was from South Africa, and it was his first job managing a camp. And we had been there on a horseback safari, and this was an extension, like, in the river. And he kept turning the key, and it wouldn't go on. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to hit us again, and he's going to turn us over. So I was squatting as low as I can, so my center of gravity would be low, so I would not be thrown way out, because the crocodiles would hit the water like that, and then either he would kill us or the crocodiles, but most likely he will kill us. They can split you in two, and they're really territorial. They're just really very territorial, and so that's why they're so dangerous.
So we got the boat to go.
No, but what happened is we were in the middle of the river, so the channel was deep. He could not push off fast enough, and the current took us away from him. And he was also stunned because he hit the propeller with his head. So he was stunned. So we
stunned and pissed off.
So we just start drifting down the river. And I looked at the young guide and I said, so where's the next settlement that we can, hail somebody? He said, about 3 days. And I said, and by this time it's dark. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We're going to drift here for 3 days?
God
we don't
almighty.
have any water. So anyway, then as we started drifting into the reeds where there are snakes and what have you, and he lost the pole to push us out of the reeds. So I pick up a lawn chair and start trying to push us away from everything. And then we went right by the crocodiles. And I'm yelling so loudly that it scared the crocodiles, because they're afraid of humans, because they know that humans kill them for their skin. So you could hear the crocodiles going into the water, plop, 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 plop. And he kept trying to start the motor, and I thought, this is excitement. I can,
do without
it. But no, and so then eventually,
well, no, if you live through these things,
heard
then
another. Yeah. There was going to be a boat with another naturalist meeting up with us to show us around, and they heard us trying to start, and because the sound travels, they found us, and so that was my experience with the hippo.
Hey.
Then another trip to Africa, and this was really bad. They should not have done it. I was not approving of it. They did hippo bumping.
Oh, that sounds really awful. I mean, that sounds like not a good thing, a nice thing to do.
No,
what do you
the
mean?
hippos. This was a horseback safari, and the hippos graze with the horses. It's amazing. At night, where the horses were, the hippos. And I think that there is some. I think rhinoceros are related to horses distantly, way, way distantly. I don't know if but the hippos were grazing with it. And so what these people did, it was the guy who owned the safari. They would go and they would get behind the hippos, and the hippos would go ahead of them. And they would drive right behind the hippo and just touch it with a bumper. And the hippo would, and I thought it was horrible.
It is.
It was
I mean,
awful.
what
I
kind
said,
of
I said, please don't do this. It was really awful. But it is back in 1989. And they had been drinking, so I won't say who it was, but, well, nobody would know who it is anyway. I thought that was awful.
That is awful. Okay. Hey, what did you think about Mr. Rogers getting...
I was furious.
I was too.
I was furious.
What the hell?
I mean, I'm sorry. I think free solo, somebody climbing up without any help is okay. It's remarkable to be nominated for best documentary instead of Won't You Be My Neighbor. I'm sorry. It just it actually, that film ignited a conversation about what civil discourse is, how we treat our fellow human beings.
Right.
That it came around. It
was one of the highest grossing documentaries
ever. Right. And I'm stunned, and I'm thinking that there are people who didn't see it, or people who thought that it was, it's dated, and that I don't understand why. Have you read anything that said why it wasn't nominated?
No, I mean, the New York Times yesterday said it was the most sort of stunning snub. They were stunned. I mean, a lot of people had.
But did anyone try to analyze why?
No,
I haven't
seen it.
I haven't talked to our friend Joanne.
I did. I just sent her a text saying, "What the?"
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly.
And she sent one back, sort of saying the same thing.
Nicholas' mom must be just.
She was really.
crushed.
She was really upset. She had been invited and was intending to go to this luncheon of Academy Award nominees.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to go to the Oscars, but they'd already decided she would go to because it was just a
it was a given. It was a given. And actually, I mean, I had said to her, "There's no way." And we follow film. I feel, I didn't think there was any way it wasn't going to be nominated. No way.
I know.
I thought it was going to win. No, I really thought it was going to win.
No, I thought RBG
you
would
thought
take
RBG
it down
would win.
just because, and that's what Joanne had been hearing too. Before they announced the nominees, she said, we know we're on the short list, but RBG is apparently really coming on strong. And that is also a result of the current climate and the fact that RBG is ill.
But that's
and
why I'm
it's
stunned.
Just, but when does the Academy get it right? I mean, they get it wrong so often. So it's just a bunch of people making a stupid
I also think that the
mistake.
fact that they did not nominate Bradley Cooper as director.
Really?
Oh my God. That film was so complicated. And it wasn't just that it was his first time. I mean, it was, I mean, he directed an entire live concert. They actually did.
I don't know. I don't think they got much right, but that was really startling. And so she had intended to be at that luncheon, and then later that night there was an event sponsored by AARP, and they were giving an award to why am I blanking on the director's name? Neville.
Morgan Neville.
And
it's Morgan Neville, not Neville Morgan.
Right. It's one
Morgan
of those names
Neville.
where it
It's
could
Morgan
be either.
Neville. Yeah,
Morgan. And they were going to well, they still are. He's getting an award for, I guess they're giving it best documentary. They've got some kind of an award for him for having done the film. And Joanne is presenting it to him. So I guess she still has to go out there, even though
now that we're thinking about it, no, I can't. You can't say that. that it didn't speak to diversity, but it does. I mean, it
Don't even try to.
I'm
think
trying
you
to,
don't
because,
know.
but it does, because the policeman, you know, the person who played the policeman, that's exactly talking about diversity.
They took on racial stuff. They took on gay stuff. It took on all. I mean, it was talked about what Fred did with his program, and I don't
understand it.
I don't understand it either. And it's just like a kick in the teeth. It really is. So, anyway. That was a bummer. Never look ahead. Never assume, right? Never assume anything. But that was a bummer. Prevagen. Thanks, Milton. Prevagen it's a memory support drug, and Prevagen is the one that comes from something found in jellyfish.
I've heard this. There's no proof that it works. I know some people who take it. I think
really?
the best thing to do is just walk, walk, exercise, eat really healthy, and that has been shown. Exercising. There was a new study. Exercising and eating healthy can reverse cognitive decline.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think. I think we're all like a little crazy about all this stuff.
I'm so angry about Fred. I want to just take the microphone and smash your computer because I need to smash something.
Well, none of us are responsible, so don't smash me. Wait a minute here. Oh, the AKC has named 2 new breeds.
They're not new breeds. That's
I know. Well,
not,
of course.
they may have been breeds that have existed for
Right,
hundreds
but
and hundreds of
they
years, but
recognize
not
them.
enough people own them in the United States.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did I really do that?
Yeah, but,
because I've been to Westminster. It's amazing.
I'm against breeds in general, but here.
Well, but
Okay,
see,
wait.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong.
Well, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Here's
You're
the
wrong.
breed, and just try to. There's the breed. That's one.
Wait, I can't. I don't have
Okay,
my glasses.
then I'll give it my
I
shot.
know what it is. It's a hound from either
It's from.
Scandinavia or Germany. I know what it is.
All right. Listen,
No,
it's
and
Dutch.
Let me tell you.
It's Dutch.
Let me tell you.
It's
why
a
you're wrong.
Nederlandse
Ow.
Escher. It's got. Read that. What do you-
Nederlandse Kukerhandjes Escher. That's right. Above. It's a hunting dog.
Yes. And you know
And
what
then
it
this
does?
is. I know what this is. And this is what is
This is whatever that is. This other.
above left and red below.
It's.
No, this is a Grande Basse Griffon Vendine. See, there's a big one. There's a petite Grande Basse Griffon Vendine. And let me tell you about.
They're cute. They're
Let me
cute
tell you
doggies.
about breeds.
Fuck 'em.
No, you're wrong, because how people treat breeds today, I agree with you. Indiscriminate, inbreeding, what have you, showing. But a lot of dogs were created for a purpose.
No, I know that.
They were created for a purpose. But the trouble is, they do, too many people and too many breeders, they say they don't, but they emphasize form over function. And
So it's looks. They get into the
but
looks.
they're not supposed to. And so if you look at for instance, a deerhound, I love Scottish deerhound.
Yeah.
They've existed since 100 AD, and they served a purpose.
Right.
You can't let your deerhounds run through the woods and kill feral cat. Well, actually, let's not even go down that road about what feral cats do to the songbird population.
Oh.
No, actually,
I know.
they do.
No, I know.
They're
I'll tell you
in New
though,
Zealand and Australia,
I'll tell you
they are
who's-
going to destroy them because they are destroying biodiversity.
I'll tell you who's doing more about killing songbirds. Humans, not cats.
No, actually,
Humans.
Cats are doing
Humans.
feral
Cats are doing it, but humans
and
as well.
Galapagos, they eliminated all of them because they were destroying. They were destroying Galapagos.
Okay, I want to tell you what the Nederlandse Kukerhanji.
It looks like it's
trained,
a hunting dog.
But it
It's a
is. But
retriever?
listen to what it's trained to do, because this is cool. That specific dog is trained to help Dutch. This is very specific. that dog is trained to help Dutch duck hunters by attracting the duck's interest and then luring the ducks into net-covered canals. Now I ask you, what the hell is the Dutch duck hunter doing if the friggin' dog is doing all the work? What? They stick a net out on
they have a breed that's been recognized. It's called the Nova Scotia. They're very adorable. It's a Nova Scotia duck, and it's not trolling, duck tolling retriever. And it was from Nova Scotia. And it goes like this in the water with its paws.
Yeah.
That's what tolling. And the ducks come swimming toward them, and then they go bang, bang. And
see, I get it.
But the dogs love it. You don't get it. The
dogs love it, I'm sure. I'm sure. Dogs love to work.
Now, here's a question. I don't know. Did anyone watch oh, God, it was so beautiful. An anthropologist hosted it. There was a part last year on Nature on PBS, and there was one last night. It's on the Equus, the horse. And the anthropologist said, it has helped human history more than any other animal. And I went, whoa.
Dog.
Dogs were domesticated first, and for a reason. And dogs were taken everywhere that humans began to go before they became Homo sapiens, even when they were in Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal. Horses, I did not know this. Horses almost were extinct. When people say, oh, you can't ride horses, you can't do this with horses, you should just let them be free. Horses almost went extinct when the grasslands turned into forests. They disappeared everywhere except Central Asia. They were gone. They were almost extinct because of the change. There wasn't anything for them to eat. And in Kazakhstan, there was a place where they found horse's milk being used. And they didn't mention this in this hour-long documentary, but one of the archaeologists was from Carnegie Mellon Museum, Natural History Museum. We did a piece with her, and when they had the exhibition about the horse in the Natural History Museum, I interviewed her, and she did some of the discoveries. And so their domestication or discovery was only 6,000 years ago. Dogs were starting to be domesticated 25,000 years ago, and they were the first animal domesticated before pigs, before cows, cattle, before what have you. Horses. And it wasn't for a while. I think maybe 1,000 years or something. They discovered that chariots were not as efficient as riding a horse into battle. And then that is when the tragedy of horses began to happen, because they became used. They were used in war. They were used mostly for war and agriculture. And it's amazing. And now here's what they're doing. Thoroughbreds were not a natural horse. They were created by humans, like dog breeds are, and created by humans. But now, when you have a really special speed stallion and you're breeding it to so many others, you're going to run into what they call line breeding. You run into, and then that's when the problems happen. I mean, I've got a German Shepherd who's amazing. He comes from Germany. He has no problems with his hips, everything, but he has a sensitive stomach. You tell me that line breeding and then inbreeding, and the Germans, along with a lot of other people, do it. They do it to get a stronger dog, a faster dog, or what have you. That doesn't affect them, and and this is when I will scream about this. Well, there's only a certain percentage of line breeding or inbreeding in this, and you go by the percentages to see. It still creates a problem. Why do you think golden retrievers die of cancer at 7 all the time? It's because of inbreeding, and there's a difference. Inbreeding is really close. Line breeding is cousins.
Look at all of those snub-nosed
Why would you do that to an animal's face?
That cannot breathe.
I know. And part of that...
Or their head's so big that they can't, the bitches can't give birth anymore.
If you look back in the 19th century at bulldogs, they had longer legs and longer snouts. Beth Stern, and they had a Bianca was their Howard and Beth Stern, and Bianca died, but she was...
Wait. You're talking about Howard Stern.
Howard Stern and his wife Beth.
His wife Beth,
from Pittsburgh.
Who and Sally knows well because she's from here. They had a what?
They had a bulldog
named Bianca.
And
Somehow I
Beth
don't think of a bulldog as being named
Beth
Bianca.
they were both very concerned about what had been done to bulldogs in breeding, and they were supportive of, if you're going to have this kind of a dog, make it look more like it used to be, like a dog, instead of short little stubby legs. And a face like this, and you can't breathe. When you see,
Well, you listen to them just labor. I see
know.
them laboring to move, laboring to.
and when you see Brussels Griffon with
Uh-huh.
they look like little monkeys. Actually, that's what they were meant to look like. Little monkeys look like little babies, and so they wanted to make these dogs look like little monkeys or look like little babies.
So that people would love them.
But
what
did you know the dog has the most malleable DNA of any mammal?
Well,
any mammal,
well-
and scientists are studying their genes to see how they can combat genetic disease in humans.
Name another mammal that
It may be of any
has
animal.
so many, or name another animal that you can have one as big as a horse. You
There
can
isn't
have one as tiny as this. They recognize each other as fellow dogs.
There
they
isn't
are
one.
all of these different. There isn't another.
There isn't
I mean, they don't
that's why
even-
scientists are studying their genes to see why this happened and how it can help humans.
I'll tell you.
But
what can-
actually, do you know what most breeds were created? This is interesting. Most breeds were created in the 19th century because there was leisure. The industrial age ushered in a leisure, and they could do dog showing, or they could use dogs for all these different things. Before then, there were not that many breeds, and dogs were really functional.
That's right. They worked. They were still functional in a way. I mean, just think of the difference in the way a pet dog was treated when we were kids as opposed to now. When my mother hears that, Mom, yeah, the cat had a CAT scan today and was rushed to the emergency room, and it's costing me $1,000, and she says, that's insane, because you didn't do that with animals. We didn't, first of all, another change. Animals used to be called, but we would name them like Spot, Fido. We didn't name them Bianca and Kenny. And
Well, Kenny's short for Kent.
No, but we didn't name them people names. So we have taken these dogs now, and they definitely are now in our homes, in our lives, and in our families. And this is new.
Well, part of it is I think part of it is enough people have read the research. Now, dogs are not as smart as they thought they were.
No.
What they mean is that, and when I did the Dog Chronicle, we went to Yale, and they have the Canine Cognition Center, and she's actually a psychologist. And I got really upset about this study that says they're not as smart. She said it doesn't mean that they don't have cognitive reasoning. It doesn't mean that they're not still intelligent. It means that they're about the same as some other animals. They're not elevated as high as some people
clearly
were.
not.
They're probably not as intelligent as an elephant, as a dolphin, certainly not a chimpanzee. But they function. And one of the things about dogs is you infantilize them, so they're controllable.
That's right.
They're not and their brains are smaller than a wolf's, but wolves are highly intelligent, and they socialize, and they have very complex social structures. So dogs haven't been allowed to socialize in packs, and so they could be controlled. Their brains, they're more like babies. But it doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. They're extremely intelligent.
I know. I got a smart one too.
Yes.
What everyone thinks their dog is. No, some people clearly have.
No, there are some stupid dogs.
Really
trust me.
stupid dogs. I know, just like dumb as a rock. I mean, you can. I know a few. I mean, sweet, cute, nice, but dumb. Okay, here's another dog-related thing that I've been meaning to say this. This drives me crazy. Because we infantilize and anthropomorphize and make our dogs into our children and stuff like that.
That drives me nuts. People say, "How are your furry babies? How are your furry children?" I said, I say I wanted children. Everything you've read about me since the retirement is how much I wanted children.
I
You knew I
know.
wanted kids.
I know, but
Anyway, and I'm having lunch with Rob today, who's the closest thing to my child. I'm so excited. But anyway, he's my godchild. But anyway, when people say that, I used to get really angry. I was with a group of women, and they were asking about each other's children. They said, "And how are your furry children?" I said, "They're not children. They're dogs. I wanted kids. I love kids. I didn't have them. I screwed up. I love my dog because it is a dog. Sometimes I like a non-human in my life.
But you know what? They are. Oh God, what was I going to say?
I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I need to walk more and eat better, and then this won't happen, right? So wait a minute. So this is what I want to say. There's a huge industry. I mean, Americans spend billions of dollars on their pets now. They buy them everything. And that article about your house said you've got like dog beds all over your house.
Well, that's just because I don't want to have to spend money on arthritis.
That's okay. But I'm just saying this is the kind of thing we do now.
My dogs serve a purpose.
The other thing
and it says in the article
that is crazy. Yes, they're
protection dogs.
They protect her. But when you go to buy dog food now, first of all, the cost of it is ludicrous, and of course, we're not talking about buying dog food at the grocery store. If you're buying dog food at the grocery store, it is a wonder that the Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals has not come to your door and arrested you. So it's that kind of crap that I have. Okay, so
but
now the big
all dog foods are not equal.
What is the thing now? Grain free, as if grain free, and
they're trying to actually feed a dog as if it were a wolf.
Well, they're wrong, because veterinarians are starting to absolutely freak out about this. My vet said, I read this article that they're starting to see like totally healthy dogs dying of these bizarre diseases that are usually only Dobermans get this particular thing. And now golden retrievers, this and that, they're dying. And what's the one thing that they're seeing? All of the dogs that are dying are on grain-free diets. And so there was an article here that I found today. Please stop buying your pets grain-free food. Vets are really concerned about this insanity. And
that's a Leon burger.
All right.
It looks like a Leon burger.
Awfully cute. But
really?
They say veterinarians don't know where the hell this came from. I'll tell you where it came from. It came from marketers, because they know you buy it's not the dog who chooses the food, it's the owner who chooses the food. And so owners, you get them to buy it because they'll think this would be good for me. So this will be good for my beloved dog. And the fact of the matter is, it ain't. There is no research whatsoever that says it's good for the dog. And in fact, increasing research that it is bad for dogs. So this is the kind, and
do you know, it's so funny you're talking about this, because my dog is a PVSEC right now. It's really bad. Pittsburgh Veterinary Specialty and Emergency Center. I was there until 4 a.m. Tuesday morning from 11 o'clock. The amount of vomit and diarrhea in his kennel when I got back from the celebration of Bill Hillgrove, 50 years broadcasting at Pitt. It was fabulous. Billy was surprised. He was crying.
Oh, so it was a surprise.
It was a surprise. It was awesome. I'm sick of that word, but it was fabulous. But anyway, so I got home and I rushed him there because he looked actually depressed, and he never looks that way, even when he's sick. And so he's been, and then I got him yesterday. Then they thought he had cancer, maybe in his spleen, but they did a needle biopsy, and it was negative. But part of this is it could be a food allergy that has come because I could never get down what was the right thing to feed him. I was trying to feed him what he had been fed when he was a competition dog. He was in Ohio, and he traveled all over Europe. He was on the United States Schutzen team. But the problem is, once he started having diarrhea, which was probably from stress because he had lived there since he was 10 months old, he was probably just stressed out being with me. I kept changing what he was eating, trying to find the perfect food.
That's probably
and you know what? And what I've
problem.
done, and I said to the vet yesterday, I said, have I created a food allergy? And she said, you could have. So now he's on a vet-designed food that it's cost me a fortune, but it's pretty simple. It's chicken liver. That's it.
Well, there's people now only feeding their dogs raw.
Well, but no,
food.
there's stuff in it. There's also like potato and stuff like that. So it's like it's a vet designed food, not designed, but it's really expensive for a bag of dog food for the dry kibble for this food sensitive. $97 for a 25-pound bag, and to try to keep him healthy, and then I got home last night, and when they're on an IV, they just like pee and pee and pee and pee. So I was letting him pee and pee, and I wanted to make sure he peed, and then I wanted to make sure I gave him the pills I needed, and he was jumping all around, and he was really happy. But see, he will eat anything. He ate 12 inches of Oriental carpet. He ate the canvas that's supposed to keep my car clean. He ate that and ended up in. Now, I didn't have to take, when he ate the rug, that's actually organic because it's wool. So that pooped out okay, but the canvas was not pooping out enough. So that was in November. This time, I don't know what caused it. I have no idea. So I don't know. I said, I've got to get that little, the little rubber stuff where they put the IV in. I said, I've got to get that off, but wait, let me make sure I feed him and get him his pills. And I came back, and he came out of his crate, and I looked at him, and I went, oh, blank. He ate the bandage. And so because after having spent a lot of money to take him home, he's having, because he was so sick, he had a motility issue, like stuff wasn't going through. And he was taking a pill to make that happen again. And I knew that, and I called up the ER there at 11 o'clock.
And they said, bring him back?
And I said, I'm thinking, they said, you got to bring him back.
Just from eating the bandage?
Yeah, because it could get stuck and get really, and so it said, and because he's not moving things through. And then they said, she called just now. Yeah, and I said, has he vomited it up? And they said, no, which means they may go back in there again. And he may have inflammatory bowel disease, which is an autoimmune system disorder.
But see, this is what I'm saying.
And so what I'm saying is I may have caused all of this by trying to find the perfect food.
Yeah, well, we're all nuts.
I'm so upset. Because I didn't sleep all last night either. I was there Monday night until 4 a.m. I was there till 1 this morning. And actually, when he ate the bandage, the first thing I wanted to do is take a hammer and just beat him in the head.
All right.
No, I wasn't. I would never do that. I would never
do that.
But I say it because, and then people look at you like you're horrible. I would never touch him. He almost broke my hand, and I didn't touch him.
No.
Because I had the ball, and he grabbed for the ball and instead got my hand.
They're just... God bless them. They're better than we are.
What time is it? What have we been
Don't worry. You've got 15 minutes.
Oh, my God. We've been talking about hagfish and dogs.
Okay, so we're going to stop. We've been talking about hippo poop, hagfish, slime.
We did talk about Fred.
We talked about Fred. Somehow Fred got in there. Yeah, and dog food. I was trying to cater it to your interests here.
Well, we can do your interests.
No, but then we get political, and you get all uptight.
I don't...
You always... I'm an anchor. I'm an ex-anchor, and I can't talk. All right, wait. I got one more thing. Scientists claim that in an average person's lifetime, they eat 8 spiders while they're sleeping.
That actually does.
Oh.
That actually makes me.
Oh, God, tell me that's
That's
not
really
true.
creepy. That's really creepy.
Tell me that's not true.
But well, you know what? Yeah, they're walking.
They're everywhere. Spider.
And your mouth does hang open. But don't you think you would feel it tickling your tongue?
No, it could be a little one. Whatever. You know, they say that you're never
God.
there. Wherever you are, there's a spider within 5 feet.
Really?
Yeah. There's
spiders in
everywhere.
here?
There's spiders everywhere, and there are definitely spiders in your home and in your bed, and yeah, when you're sleeping, and every once in a while, and you eat. The average person eats 8 spiders in their lifetime. I'm just telling you that.
Well, that's okay.
Take that. It's
Yeah,
protein.
yeah. Well, how do we know it's protein? Everybody says that about bugs, but do we really know that it's protein?
Yeah, it is protein. Well, it would be. Why wouldn't it be?
Well, of course, every living thing has protein,
Right.
doesn't it?
I think. What do I know?
Does it?
I don't
know.
Clue.
Someone,
I don't
there
have
are
a clue.
people listening who know these things, who are scientists, and thinking these women are
idiots. I know.
are idiots.
Oh, here's.
I like your earrings.
Thank you. I do too. Aren't they nice? Yeah. So
I've never had somebody say that. When you say, I like your earrings. I do too. That's really cool. No, that's a really neat thing to say. If you like something that you're wearing and then affirming what someone has just said.
Because usually when women get compliments,
They
you
say,
"Oh no, I
they're
don't
nothing,"
mean it. Oh no,
which is stupid.
I just got them for. I can't even remember. What am I even? Oh yeah, those. No, I like them too. I do. So they're a little hippy dippy.
No,
They're
they
a
look
little
ethnic.
hippy-dippy.
They look ethnic. It's cool to do it ethnic. You should have seen Indians. Excuse me. Are they Native Americans or indigenous people?
Oh, who the hell?
In this Equus thing, they have this competition where they do relays, and they use thoroughbreds, not the native Spanish horses that Native Americans used to ride. It was so amazing.
Riding bareback.
Oh my God!
I know.
And Calgary Stampede, this one group from Canada had been invited, and it was so cool. Why did I say that? Oh, because I said they looked ethnic.
Right,
And then
but I
was
want
thinking,
to get into this. You know,
Are we
I'm
going to
so,
still talk about spiders? What
No,
is
no,
this
no.
now?
We're moving on to those damn lists that the media are always
we were talking.
making.
Actually, I was talking about that with the chancellor, Pitt chancellor at the. I was at the Duke basketball game, and I was on TV. They had a shot of me, and an old friend of mine whose mother
Why
was.
would you be excited about being on TV?
Because I was on ESPN.
Yeah.
I was on ESPN
But
in the crowd. And an old friend of mine, whose mother was my godmother.
Saw you?
From when I was 6 years old. She emailed me. I haven't talked to her in 9 years. She said, "Was that you at the Duke Pitt game? My husband hates Duke because he went to Kentucky and to Georgia. He hates Duke." So it was so cool. And I thought, oh, my God, I was on TV. Someone said, "That's really stupid." But I said,
Yeah, well,
Why do we talk about that? Oh, but the chancellor and a group
We're
of us.
talking about
we're
these
talking
lists?
about this list. I'm talking about the foodie list.
the foodie list. And so I am
this
so sick of
this
this
England,
particular
England.
one. Oh, you were talking about
Yes,
this.
we were talking
For
about
those
this.
of you who don't know, and this just drives me crazy. Okay, so this is out of the BBC, some thing called BBC Good Food. Obviously,
I love the BBC.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, the BBC, right? The top 10 destinations for foodies in 2019, according to the BBC. There's only one place in the United States that's on the list.
Really? Not New York?
There's one place in the United States on the list, and guess what it is? Oh, yeah. It's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. And you know what? I just think this whole thing is a bunch of bullshit. I do. Have you? I mean, come on. It's like one person starts it, and then every food. It's just we're the thing now.
No, but
and then there will be
Can I
forgotten-
be a voice of reason, which seems to be my role here? When she goes,
You are the voice. Okay.
When
okay.
she goes off. Okay. There are tangible, there are reasons, there are critics who have praised certain chefs
Right.
and restaurants who are, and there are awards like James Beard.
I know.
And what have you.
I
So
know.
that
I
there-
know.
So there are concrete
I know. But
outcomes.
have you ever gone to one of these places that they rave and rave about, and frankly, you don't like the food? That has happened to me so many times, or it's overpriced, or there's just this little thing in the middle of your plate that
No,
costs.
I've generally liked. No, I've generally liked. But see, I like a donut from a convenience store.
Yeah, right, exactly right.
So I'm not discriminating.
Okay, but here's what listen to what they say about Pittsburgh. The other places, whole countries are on these 10 destinations. So here are the places: Matera, Italy, Amsterdam.
I don't remember food. I loved Amsterdam, but I don't remember the
Ljubljana,
food.
Slovenia, the South Aegean, Greece. I mean, so there's a whole bunch of Yorkshire, UK. You got to be kidding me.
Got to be pudding.
Corsica, Pittsburgh, USA. Now listen to what they tell their readers about us. Listen to this. Need an alternative East Coast city break? In April this year, British Airways starts direct flights from Heathrow to Pittsburgh.
Thank goodness.
Listen to this. Making this little-known Pennsylvanian city.
Now I'm angry.
Listen, it gets better.
All of Mexico knows about Pittsburgh because of the Steelers.
Making this little-known Pennsylvania city easier to visit. Andy Warhol is Steeltown's best-known local boy.
What?
Would you? I'm thinking.
Excuse me. How about like Fred Rogers
or Andrew Carr fucking Nagy?
No, you can't say that.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
What? Or name some
Excuse me,
more.
Henry Clay Frick.
Yeah. Or
how about Heinz? How many of these people
Westinghouse?
use Heinz? Excuse me, the Steelers are internationally known.
I know, but yes, okay. Apparently not by the foodie who wrote this.
You
okay,
stupid
this
person.
little-known Pennsylvania city, best-known local boy is Andy Warhol, and its post-industrial landscape is littered with vibrant street art, and an arty vibe defines its burgeoning food scene, where cheap rents, by American standards, have seen young chefs pursuing ambitious creative cuisine, catering to the Pittsburgh's demographic. Listen to this, the Pittsburgh's demographic of young, upwardly mobile urban migrants. I gotta tell you, Pittsburgh still is an old city.
Well, it sounds like they weren't here for
bullshit.
very long, and they read some. This is ripping off other articles that
Exactly.
were,
They
that
weren't
were written
even here.
several years ago. But I will say this. I mean, it's not wrong what he's saying about cheap rents. It's not wrong. There are new upwardly mobile urban migrants. I mean, the
Yes,
other
but
list
that
from
does
last
not
year
really define us.
would bear that out. But this stuff about he's trying to be clever. It is a post-industrial landscape. If you drive around, I mean, and you know what he's talking about? He's talking about one restaurant when he's mentioning. He may have gone to one, he or she. I don't know why I'm
They
assuming
might not
it's
have
a he.
gone to any.
No, you
They're
know what they
just
did?
reading
You know
stuff.
what they did? They went to Superior Motors.
And I don't like it.
I actually do. And I love
Bleh.
Kevin. I love Kevin.
Bleh.
Well, I've
Kevin
every
Sousa, you're the only person who likes him. Okay?
well.
He screws up. He screws people. He
No,
screws his
I
employees.
will argue with
He's
you.
a jerk.
No, he's
and
not.
I don't like his food. I have had it. I've been to things
Now
that
see,
he's
I'm
catered.
disagreeing with you wholeheartedly.
Okay. I think Superior Motors is just a hoo-ha. I mean,
No, I think it's fabulous.
God.
I disagree with you.
Okay, just saying.
Disagree with you, and I've known him for a while, and I think
All right.
I mean everybody makes mistakes, they do, but he's trying hard, and there are things about him that I know that I really relate to. So I like him. I like him a lot.
All right, I don't.
Well, you knew we were going to disagree about.
So
something.
after Pittsburgh, the next foodie place you're supposed to go in 2019 is Japan.
I love Japanese.
Yeah, but I mean, like what?
I like Japanese food.
And
more
then
than Chinese
Peru,
food.
and
Peru?
then Ethiopia.
No, wait.
Well, now wait. Here's why. What
I
do you
love
think of what you
Ethiopian
think?
food.
Ethiopia? There's famine there.
They have you ever eaten
Go
at
to
the Ethiopian restaurants?
Yes,
here?
I have.
They're excellent.
I'm not wild about it. bread, that spongy bread.
I love it.
If you eat it, it's like that slime. It grows in your stomach. So you're eating it, and then later you're like, I'm not kidding.
Well, you're not kidding, but I like it. It's
Okay,
yummy.
it's okay. So anyway, I just wanted to. I'm so sick of all this hoopla and crap, and now everybody's all excited because they're building more
Well, let me just ask you
condos
this.
in the strip.
What would you rather have? No crap at all? It's so
No, you're right.
distracting with you. You have a napkin, you have
Because I'm trying not
napkin
to
on your
infect
head.
I know, it hurts.
You shouldn't have come into work.
I shouldn't have come in yesterday because after I left, I was. There's a guy we're looking at.
He's doing side stretches. What do they call those?
I don't know.
There used
He's
to be a
going
term
like this,
for it
but I
because
mean-
I'm old and I don't remember the term.
Well,
What
I
is
don't
it,
know.
a side stretch? You have
I
a
don't
camera
know.
there.
If you take ballet, that's one of the things you do in ballet too.
He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's
Yeah,
getting up
right,
and
I know,
walking
that was right.
around.
But it just.
I knew we would argue about some things.
Well, of course, we argue about everything.
No, that's not.
Not totally true.
She doesn't exaggerate or anything, does she?
No. All right. Okay. Jeez. Okay. So, 4 minutes. The condos that they've now got $1 million more condos that they're putting up behind the fruit produce thing in the strip.
Oh yeah.
And you know,
I'm sort of in
you
agreement with
tell
you.
me.
You're
You're
gonna put a CVS in there.
Who are all these people? And do you know what they're going to ruin the strip district? I mean, the strip district, I think, is one of the most incredible places in this city.
It is singular.
Because of that, it
Yeah, I
is
know,
singular.
I know. And there are people
now
who fought
all
to
these
save the
people
terminal
coming in and making. Once you bring in the rich people, they'll fuck it up. They're gonna fuck. Excuse me, it up. And this is progress. And then those low rents, as we've seen what's going on in East Liberty.
Oh my God.
What?
You have over 6,000 emails in your Comcast. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, you know why that is? Do you know what that's from? That is from 2004. When
That would drive me nuts.
when I was on the radio and C-SPAN broadcast my show, my 3-hour talk show, a month before the presidential, it would be Bush-Kerry.
2004.
Yeah. And they came in and they were going around the country and showing people, here's what they're talking about, here's what blah, 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 blah. And during the course of that show, I got, Sally, like 15,000 emails.
That's just
And I gave up.
mind-boggling.
I gave up. And I've not, if we were to go back.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No.
She knows this. I'm like, you know the dog in Up? He goes, I love you, squirrel. That's me. That's me.
Yes, it
I'm so
is.
sorry. I interrupted her bitching
but,
about
well, that's okay. But that's what
gentrification.
that's what
You-
that is.
I went,
That's from
and I almost said the word that she's been saying the past 5 minutes. I was like, oh my
I mean,
goodness.
at some point you can't read anymore, and I suppose someday if I could. It was so heartening. It was people.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it was people saying, "Oh my God," because this was where talk radio was all right wing,
Yeah.
and they were hearing this different voice, and people. I got letters.
Which most of the
You know what
time
else
is
I got?
actually a
Do
reasonable
you know one of the
voice.
people who got in touch with me?
Who?
A guy named George Slatter saw it
Why is that name familiar?
because he's the producer of Laugh In.
Oh my goodness.
He's the guy who discovered Lily Tomlin and a million other people.
And Goldie Hawn.
And he said, "I love you." He said, I wrote Lily, I just emailed Lily Tomlin and said, turn this on, you got to see. I'm not kidding. Then he and I struck up a conversation, and he was thinking of maybe doing something. I said, well, look, I'm a single mom. My kid is, I got a little boy. If there's something I could do and still be here, that's fine. But no, I'm not interested in coming out there. And that, of course, was the end of that. But George Schlatter, and I do have that. I saved
That's
that one.
amazing.
Yeah, and I saved some of his emails. He loved me.
Well, I've already talked about how many offers.
Yeah,
you had
but
to
oh
go
God!
elsewhere.
So that all I need is the offer. That made me feel so good, and I got a lot of great feedback from that. And C-SPAN said they did not have none of the shows they did had as much, because it was a woman and it was a liberal, right? And I was on that day. I mean, I was articulate and I did a good job. I have it on tape, that show.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't know this.
Back in the day. So that's where all those emails are from. Although I just couldn't anymore. And I can't get rid of them.
No,
It
I
doesn't
wouldn't.
seem right.
No.
And I did keep some of the mail that came in from everywhere. It just was mind-blowing.
Well, I'm glad I pointed that out
Yeah, okay.
so that you got to talk about it. Have you ever talked about it before?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm glad you did. Where were you
There.
on the radio? Were you with Renda?
There
at
I
the
was
time?
at Renda.
Renda. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh no, Kurt, don't do this to me. Okay, wait, we got to do these two. Oh, we got to get out of here because, Amy, we're done. But here, quickly.
It's 11:02.
Clearly. Observation from Clarence, you two are the Grace and Frankie of YouTube. See,
Oh,
I
that's
never
too
watched.
funny. I've never watched
I
that
haven't
show.
watched
My
it either.
ex-boyfriend watches that show, and it's not the kind of show that he would watch.
Wow. Barbara says, good show. Thank you. Very much enjoyed seeing and sort of hearing you. Shit. I'm okay with calling Andy Warhol Pittsburgh's favorite boy. I question the term boy, but since there's a Warhol
No, you know
museum
what?
here,
And
doesn't
I
he-
began to rethink that, Barbara. He is probably
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
most,
yeah,
when you
yeah.
talk about changing the history of art,
Right.
he did change
Yeah.
art in this country.
Okay.
You're absolutely right, Barbara.
Okay,
You're right.
shit. Apparently, the 8 spiders thing is an old wives' tale. Scientific American says you do not swallow 8 spiders.
Thank you. I didn't think that was right.
All right.
I
But
didn't
you
think
have
that
to
was
admit it was
reasonable.
neat. We got to go because Amy here's got to get the hell out of here, and frankly, so do you.
I do. I have to go.
I know
I
you're
have to
having
go.
lunch with Robbie.
Well, first I have to go find out about my dog. See if they can
Hey.
get that damn bandage out of his gut. And I was
But-
goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye. We're working on the sound.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.